Hi, I'm Sammy in the cloud, and one of my favourite genres of games is racing games. I've grown up watching Formula 1, so these games have a special place in my heart. But racing games like Formula 1 2020 are often described as simulation racing games, as they model real life. There aren't as many arcade-style racing games that focus on having fun rather than chasing every millisecond, especially when it comes to cloud gaming. Well, I've gone through my library and found 9 arcade racing games that can be played with the power of cloud. Before we get going, hit that like button, subscribe and strap yourself in as I take you through Sammy's Cloud 9 arcade races. The first game is Grip Combat Racing, available on GeForce Now. The massive wheels on these cars mean that the cars actually can drive over the walls and onto the ceiling at over 600 miles an hour. It's fast paced, there's loads of power-ups you can collect to help destroy your enemies as well. There's also an arena mode with Demolition Derby where you can use those same weapons to destroy the opposition, which even if you get damaged, it will show on your heads-up display that you will not get a clean display, as you'll see later on in this video. The Baja 1000 mile rally is one of the most grueling races in history. But don't worry, in video game it's not the full 1000 miles, you can race under any distance you like. It's based on a real life version of the rally with multi-class simultaneous racing, even on a time trial rally stage. Off-road mechanics are really working well, and you even have the ability to call a helicopter to help you change your tyre if you get a puncture mid-race. Codemasters are perhaps best known for their F1 series, which I was playing earlier with F1 2020, but in 2012 they also released F1 Race Stars, which is as close to Mario Kart as we're going to get on cloud gaming. It's Codemasters' only kart-based F1 game, which is modelled of course off the 2012 F1 season, with cartoon drivers, cars, and even tracks are modelled off the real-life F1 tracks. It's a perfect game for those of us that like the F1 games, but want something a bit more laid back, a bit less serious from time to time. I can fully recommend it and really enjoyed playing this game on PS Now. Mantis Racing is one of the only top-down races that I've raced and actually rather enjoyed. It's a competitive racer with a mix of tarmac and non-tarmac tracks. There are plenty of game modes to choose from as well, with Accumulation and Spotlight being 2 of the game modes that I could only find on this game, alongside your normal sprint and elimination races. The AI on this game is actually fairly difficult to beat. I had to do a number of practice runs and had to drive absolutely flawlessly to sometimes beat the AI even on the easiest difficulty level. When young Sammy had his feet firmly on the ground and was playing only on consoles like PlayStation 2, Cell Damage Overdrive was one of his favourite games. I've really enjoyed the cel-shaded art style, the wacky weapons and characters like boxing gloves or baseball bats or freeze rays or shrink guns that you could use against your enemies over 13 arenas and 3 different game modes, including Smack Attack, where you'd use those weapons to gain points just by beating up your enemies. From cartoon cel-shaded graphics to the real thing, Wreckfest is the ultimate racing and destruction derby type game. It's got a wide range of vehicles and tracks, including Death Loop, which includes an actual loop-the-loop alongside its various jumps, and you can even drive cars like the school bus and the sofa car. Who would not want to go into a destruction derby driving the school bus against all the other school buses? Just look at all that carnage you can cause. As a young boy, before I grew up, I loved playing with toy cars, from Hot Wheels and Matchbox, all the way up to scale electrics and even radio-controlled cars. Super Toy Cars is a game which recaptures that love of Matchbox and Hot Wheels, driving around kitchen tables, over fruit bowls, through toilet paper tubes and tunnels. Really enjoyed it. I particularly liked the Stream Connect sort of thing, where placing a mine down on the track, you still see the mine even though you're driving around the track, and you can see your opponents drive into them and get blown up. Another PSNow arcade racer is Split Second Velocity, where you are put in the position of auditioning for and performing in a reality TV show involving races and crashes. The gameplay mechanics feel very similar to the Burnout series, with points and boost being won with eye-catching driving and then being used to force other drivers to crash or create scenarios where they will crash and just sitting back and watching. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing a building drop on top of your rival as you drive past them to take the win. Finally, it's The Crew 2. Ubisoft's open-world racing game features multiple vehicles and disciplines, from street cars to helicopters and even hovercrafts, as you race across the United States in a variety of races and challenges. Take in the highway or explore the Grand Canyon, even drive Laguna Seca Raceway, it's all there. What's more, Stream Connect allows you to see teammate screens whilst playing on Stadia, giving you those multiplayer moments that are only possible through the power of the cloud. So there you go, these are Sammy's Cloud9 arcade racers. But what do you think? Leave a comment and tell me your favourite arcade racers, and don't forget to subscribe for all my content here on Sammy in the Cloud.